Hello there, Gia.
Hello, Keisha. Hello, everybody. I
Hi,
just got
everybody.
got back from the bar where everybody was doing body shots. You know.
Good one, Gia. Good one. I have a feeling that the bar where you guys play is not the sort of place where you see a lot of body shots
It's not
happening.
where you. I mean, if you did, you wouldn't want to. You know.
Right, because there's
Like,
no like the bellies would be round, right? So there wouldn't be any place
yeah.
for the shot to collect, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. That was remarkable. That whole thing.
That's a good word for it. Yeah.
It was
It was
remarkable. It was wow. It was
it,
wowza.
it was well executed, wasn't it?
It really was. I have new respect for the actor that plays Drew because
I do too, I think. Yeah.
he couldn't have been any more obnoxious and better at that little scene. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it must have been so fun for him too.
Yeah, you really have to hand it to him because he's all in with this character.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, he's all in with like he's cool with being hated, I think.
Yeah, being just completely lecherous and, yeah. That was good, that was good, and
It was
I like that it all just happened, like, everything sort of clicked along, we didn't have to wait and wonder, "Ooh, how badly
yeah.
could this go wrong?" and all of that, it just happened.
Well, and I was very like confused initially. I don't know much about ketamine. I didn't do much research. So she
Mhm.
she slipped it in his drink while he
Mhm.
was having who was he meeting with there?
He was with Tracy, and she had just left.
Oh, right. And I thought, well, is he gonna like pass out right there? Like how I was thinking like that was
Yeah.
stupid. How is she gonna I thought the whole point was to get him into a room and,
Yeah, yeah.
take the compromising pictures or video or whatever.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I thought that was the plan that they had laid out before too, but we didn't know how long it would take for it to knock him out, I guess,
But
was
I
the
guess it
yeah,
like it made him an energetic sort of
party
there was like
animal.
yeah, mania going on there.
Yeah, and I have to ask, um,
Yeah. I've
do
never
you
taken ketamine. Is that what you're gonna
Okay.
That wasn't gonna be the question? No?
No, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Do you think that when you're under the influence of a drug like that, does it make you do things that you wouldn't normally do, or does it
Ah,
unleash sort of your inhibitions, or is that
right.
you
Okay.
know what I
Great
mean?
minds think alike. Because
Yeah,
I was also thinking like, so is this peeling back? Did the drug
right.
sort of peel back the layers so we could see the true
Mhm.
nature of this man? Oh, hello. Or or is it like you get a pass because it's inducing you to do things you'd never do?
Right,
Like
right.
it
Like
wasn't really you because you were under the influence of
yeah,
this.
right. Could it alter you so much that you would respond to a situation in like in a manner that isn't you? That just seems strange to me, that
I
idea.
know, I know. It's kind of, I mean, I've never like why we keep getting into all my druggy habits and like, and I really
Is
was
this
not.
all hitting too
Yeah,
close to home, Gia?
I really was never. I've been a pretty good drunk a lot of my life, but I was not. I smoked pot a fair
Uh-huh.
amount, and
Uh-huh.
that's really about it. So like drunk
Uh-huh.
and high was pretty much.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm trying to think in
That's your memoir, Drunken High.
yeah. So I'm trying to think like under when I'm under was under the influence of weed and alcohol.
Mhm. Mhm.
Did I do things that I would not have done ever in a
Right.
million years? Like, did it change the nature of my personality, or did I just
Right.
kind of take things further than I would have?
Right, right.
Or
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I don't
I
know. I mean, I think I slept with people I probably wouldn't have slept with.
yeah.
But I
You
would I
wanna
have
you
like
wanna name
suddenly
names?
been
Anybody
no, no,
famous?
I don't, no, no, nobody. But I mean, would I have been doing something that's so out of character, like doing body shots in a bar in front of a bunch
Mhm.
of people? You know, like
Uh-huh. Well, and also, like, betraying somebody, like, would you if you like, because he, clearly did seem to be devoted to Willow and wasn't interested in anyone else as far as we could tell. So,
right, right.
you know
I wish I wasn't ever like involved with somebody. You know, I didn't have like a boyfriend at any of these
Mhm,
times, so it wasn't like
mhm.
that wasn't part of the issue. You know, so I can't.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
I mean, certainly when you're drunk or like you get chatty and you talk to
Sure.
people and say
Uh-huh.
things you might not have said.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, does it change the nature? I mean, I guess we need to know more about ketamine. Like if you're people
Yeah.
like hallucinate and do,
Mhm,
PCP and that kind of stuff and do all kinds
mhm,
of
mhm, yeah,
shit that's supposedly like murder and that kinds of but is
yeah.
that like maybe who they are in their core? I don't know.
I don't know either, Gia, and I
I
guess
mean,
we're not experts on this subject,
we're
really.
not, but I'm almost inclined to believe that that is kind of who Drew is because right in the same week, he called and had that woman lie to Willow
Yeah,
about how
yeah,
Michael,
yeah,
like that's a
uh-huh.
skeevy, underhanded thing to
That's
do.
that's a real good point, Gia, real good point, because that
Thanks.
shows shows sort of a like he's capable of crushing her, right? That act of having
Yeah,
her go
yeah.
there and just have the door slammed in her face, I think he knew would be devastating to her, right?
He must have, yeah. So he's willing. The ends justify the means, like with
Yeah,
him, I guess.
right, right, yeah, yeah, and I don't know, it seemed like again, we don't know much about this drug, but it seemed like it
I'm googling it right now.
are you like what was her name again? Because I
I don't. Who? I
Penelope
just like
Whore.
saying that. Yeah, Penelope.
She didn't have to, like, prod him very much to get him on board with whatever she was, proposing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right,
she
right.
didn't twist his arm or anything, it was pretty quick, from the time she sat down to the time they were heading off to, pour liquor all over her tummy. I liked the crowd that had assembled at the Savoy.
Oh, that was so great, and seeing everybody's facial expressions and everything, and the
Everybody was
phones
just
out,
there in stunned
and
silence, just like
yeah, because it was kind of incredible. Yeah,
yeah, uh-huh. That must have been a wild scene to film.
I'm doing my research, but I don't really feel like reading actual scientific studies. Yeah,
No, we might have to circle back to this, Gia.
yeah.
We probably
What
should
does
have done our
ketamine do to your
homework.
brain and body? Yeah. At high doses, ketamine can induce general anesthesia, unconsciousness, but at low doses, it causes these antidepressant.
So it sort of it definitely
Yeah.
put him in a good mood, in a party mood.
Fast-acting antidepressant, but in addition to its anesthetic and antidepressant potency, the drug has dissociative effects, including
Mhm.
hallucinations that have led to
Ah,
recreational use. But he
okay.
didn't seem like he was hallucinating anything. He was just like party,
Not
party.
really, but
Yeah.
disassociating definitely, because he had no memory of any of this the next day, right?
Right. How do patients experience these dissociative effects? They feel they're disconnected from their feelings, thoughts, surroundings, and identity.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
might like that. Just to, like, when you're
Yeah.
driving yourself nuts, you
I
know,
do know. I know very, very
you feel like,
well. Yeah.
just give it a
Yeah.
frickin' rest. Uh, yeah. So anyway, I don't know, but that
Okay.
is an excellent question. In general, like, were we
Mhm.
seeing the true Drew nature,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, or are we
Mhm.
giving him a somewhat of a pass? I mean, obviously, Willow's already like having her doubts about like whether to forgive him. I mean, she's like, will she forgive him if we find out that he was drugged?
Right, right. Yeah, and I thought that was a bit of a flaw to this plan because it did seem sort of clear that he was drugged, that this wasn't just and that it wasn't like in his nature to just be drunk and
It was
crazy,
just
like, you know
yeah,
what
it
I
was just
mean?
too over the top. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
they went too
exactly,
far.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
worked too
maybe
well.
it did work too well. It might have been better if she had just managed to get him to his room or whatever, and then sort of staged it to look like they'd slept together, without all of the other stuff at the bar. But of course, that was more fun.
It
Um,
was yeah, it was just one of my favorite scenes. It was like
it was
I couldn't believe they
spellbinding.
made it so crazy, it was like, wow.
And it
And,
seemed kind of erotic, didn't it? It was sorta like
oh, yeah, like
almost seemed like, "Wow, do they
yeah.
do this on daytime television?"
He,
I
like,
know
went
that.
in for his second body shot, and he, like,
Yeah.
was, like, starting to pull her skirt down. I'm like, "Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god," like,
Yeah, right, right.
was wondering if
Well,
he was improvising that stuff.
yeah, who knows? I hope they all, knew what was gonna happen there.
I hope they had
Um,
one of those, like, sex scene coaches that, like,
imagine if that
you
was
know?
us.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
I don't think we'd be good at that job for
I was
some
gonna say,
reason.
yeah, I don't for some reason, I don't think that would be, like, my forte,
No,
um,
no.
but, yeah,
Well,
they do that on shows, like, to, like, choreograph the whole thing
yeah,
and
yeah, uh-huh,
keep
and
people comfortable with it, I guess. I can't imagine. It would
mhm,
be so odd. It would all
right.
be so
What if she was a
awkward.
contest winner? It's just like, "Wait, what?"
Quite the contest.
I was gonna
I
say
would
also sorry, go ahead, Gia.
I was wondering if the documentary guy was a contest winner because he seemed
Yeah,
so bad.
totally. That was my first guess for the contest winner, that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I was gonna say, Drew was a bit of a whore himself before settled down with Willow, right? I mean, he's sort of bounced around and
Yeah,
is
because, I mean, he was, like, oh, in love with Carly, and then
right, and then boom, Nina.
boom, Nina. He didn't sleep with anybody else other than that, though, did he?
I guess he
It's like
didn't
they tried to kinda pair him up, they tried him
with
out with Jordan a
Jordan.
little bit,
Yeah,
and yeah, but
yeah. Mhm.
nothing happened there.
No, but,
Anyway, that's the big standout,
yeah, yeah, mhm,
scene in my mind.
mhm,
There were some clunky things I wanted to ask you about, like,
mhm,
if it was just me thinking these were clunky things, and I
mhm.
think they were from not today.
Okay.
So, everybody was headed to the, Savoy.
Yes, mhm,
And so Anna was in her fancy little outfit, and she
mhm,
stops and talks to Felicia, who can't make it because she's the
mhm.
only person
Right.
working at the hospital
Yeah.
apparently now.
That's right, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So anyway, so they text wasn't it Jordan that they were meeting up with?
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
okay, and so Jordan's already there speaking to Curtis, sitting with Curtis.
Uh-huh.
And then
Right.
Anna comes in and doesn't speak to Jordan, but goes to the
Yeah,
bar and has a drink with our hot professor.
yeah, yeah.
And then we never
Mhm.
see Anna even approach Jordan, do we?
No, it almost seemed like they were at 2 different places. Ooh, oops.
Oh,
Sorry. The
don't
kitty
fall down.
the cat just tipped over the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, everybody, that was unprofessional.
Oh, yeah. They've Were they at 2 different places? Maybe they were.
I don't think so, because she was with Curtis. Jordan was with Curtis at the
Right, and that's
Savoy,
the
so
Savoy, right.
yeah,
So I was
yeah,
like, did I misunderstand? Like, wouldn't she have at
did it
least said,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
Felicia's running late.
mhm,
I'll go get a drink at the bar. I'll be right back," or
yeah,
something, like, why? And then the next scene, we see Anna
with
meeting up with,
right, 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 yeah, with, Emma.
Emma for coffee in the middle of
Right.
the night,
I know, that
and then nobody has any coffee.
I I know. The timeline, yeah, was all screwed up, yeah. And also, like, it seemed like Jason was in one place, and then the next thing you know, he's at Sonny's, and that's kind of felt like, "Wait a minute, what
Well,
day
they
is
have
this?"
like some kind of Wonder Woman supersonic invisible
Yeah, I
jet or
guess that's
something that,
true, yeah, I guess we shouldn't
yeah.
question that, of course.
Yeah, because he was speaking with Geo, telling him about
Yeah, yeah.
how Sonny's really kind of a good murderer,
Yeah. Geo,
and
I think
then
it's time
yeah,
you learn the difference between good murderers and bad
yeah,
murderers.
trust
Yeah.
your gut. Yeah, Geo's been like, speaking of like arms not fitting in t-shirts, he's been hitting the gym. It looks like,
Mhm. Yeah, I think he's trying to evolve as either an actor or a
or
character,
or
both.
maybe those muscles are from violin playing or something. Maybe all that, because you're like, like all that.
Take You just captured a violin player in just a couple of sentences perfectly. They're ripped because of the
All that, like that motion is probably, and
It
they got
takes
a hold.
all the
They get the neck
muscles, yeah.
muscles are developed because they're holding
They're
that thing with
holding
their
it,
neck.
yeah,
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 yeah.
uh-huh,
Looks
yeah,
always looks so uncomfortable.
they must be very lopsided muscle-wise, wouldn't you think?
So like I think that Skechers company should redesign violins. Like they would make them comfortable. You
Cushy,
know,
like a really super cushy
cushy.
violin
Yeah, like a
with
cushy
Velcro
slip
that
on, a slip
attaches to,
on
like, your
violin.
shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah, so you don't have to
uh-huh.
hold your head at that angle
Yeah, you think there'd
somehow.
be a lot more violin players if it wasn't so
Maybe.
uncomfortable? Hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you're
Sorry,
doing
I
some
spent
good
some time
thinking
at
there.
Skechers the other day. Yeah,
Yeah, it really sent you on a
yeah.
re
Well, the
it
old
really
man was looking for sneakers because he's going to start walking, and he
uh-huh.
had on these like pillowy, quilty looking ones, and made his feet look ridiculous. I was like, no.
We're seeing other people.
They literally like sort of had this quilted side kind of thing, and they were super white. And I know they wouldn't have stayed white, but
Yeah, yeah,
we
uh-huh.
found something a little less gaumy looking and
Uh-huh.
a little more like a
Uh,
hiking sneaker. But
sure,
yeah,
like a
I think that
uh-huh.
I know they're comfortable, but I think they're making us old people look extra ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's by design. Mhm.
Is that what's going on? So we can
Mhm.
identify ourselves more
Yeah,
easily,
so
like
it's easier to profile you, you know, make
they go into
assumptions about the
Skechers,
type
yeah,
of person you are. Yeah.
old, old and giving up. Anyway, I just thought, isn't that weird? That whole like Anna at the
Yeah,
bar, and then yeah, it
yeah.
was all just weird.
That
And
was all weird, yeah.
I thought I think your hot professor may have like dyed his eyebrows
Huh, I didn't notice, but you could be right. Who knows? Who knows what the
between
boys
our
are doing
first
these days.
glimpse of him, and I thought maybe they were said, you need to look younger. You're supposed to be young, hot professor. I don't know. I thought he looked a little. They looked a little weird. The eyebrows.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Well, and she rejected him pretty hard, didn't she, Anna?
She did. Yeah. And I think, was it because she had her antenna up about
Maybe.
he and
Yeah,
Emma having some
yeah,
connection? So she was,
yeah. It didn't wanna get in the middle of that, maybe.
well, she just was trying to like get info off. Like maybe she thought he was hot initially, and then
Mhm,
her
uh-huh.
radar went off, and she
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
yeah,
uh-huh. Right, right. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm. That's
All right,
probably
what else we
true.
got? We've got
Um,
Kai preparing
mhm.
for his operation. He has no family that cares about him, apparently.
Right, they're away.
Yeah.
They're in another country, are they, or something like that?
Is that what it was? I don't
I
know.
don't remember, but they were he'd talked to them, but they were far away, I think. Um,
Far, far away. Okay.
I think they'll send him a postcard, so it'll be fine,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, and then, of course, he doesn't know really what's going on with Drew. Um And I wondered, I don't know if this is gonna really be Drew's undoing or if it'll just sort of shake things up a little bit and then they'll settle back down. What do you think?
I think it's going to cement. Um, they're going to somehow unravel the breadcrumbs and figure out that it was Nina and Portia
Yeah, I
that
don't
set
think
him
they're as
up. And
slick as they think, right? Because
no,
they met with Penelope Hoare, like, right after, and it's like, you don't want her coming and going,
I
from
know,
your
and she
room.
didn't even have like. Shouldn't she have had like a different outfit she could have put herself in at least to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think so. I think so,
crazy.
yeah.
She
Yeah,
left her
her
big
sort of
red bra behind.
right, which I don't know, would she have been wearing a big red bra with that shirt or that
Somebody
sweater that
else
was
brought
pulled
that up
off?
online. I was like, that's
Oh, they
funny.
did?
Probably not. Yeah. They're like, you
'Cause
wouldn't have
that
been wearing
that's
that. Yeah.
yeah, that, like, off the shoulder thing seemed very dated to me. Um,
I didn't think you'd be the person that would know what kind of undergarment would you would wear for that.
I'm always
Like,
gonna go with none, so
yeah. I didn't have
I
you
don't
pegged.
as
Um,
a bra expert, I
yeah.
consult with a lot
Yeah.
of shows when they have scenes involving lingerie. I don't know if you knew that
Okay.
about me. Yeah, and I do have a
Yeah.
blog about lingerie as well.
And you've probably got another podcast in the works. So,
It's called Just Bras.
yeah. Um, anyway, yeah, somebody brought that up. It was funny though. It was like such a soap opera prop. This like big flaming
Yeah.
red bra. Like
Yeah.
didn't even look. It was her size.
No, it
Um,
didn't.
I think that it will bind he and Willow, Drew and Willow, even closer together against.
Yeah, there's
There'll
always
be
that risk, yeah.
fallout against Nina, and
Mhm.
ultimately, what's going to happen is the big reveal of Nina and Drew were sleeping together when he was falling in love with Willow. Like that's going to have to come out ultimately before
Yeah, and
any
that
big.
and that feels like that I don't think there's any weight behind that information at this point. Do you? I don't know.
You don't think that would change Willow's feeling toward
Well,
him?
it might make her it might lead her to believe that Nina's acting out of, like, spite as much as a sense of trying to protect Willow, it might
Hmm.
be fuzzy enough in her head, and with his loud voice drilling into her ear,
So it still might backfire. That could
yeah, it
be.
still might backfire, I think, yeah.
So
Uh,
what is going to turn her away from Drew? Is it just like maybe finding out
if she
that
could find out that he made the call, so Michael never
yeah,
really even
yeah.
knew she was there, because that would be easy enough, I think, like, if Michael talked to Jason and Jason said, "So, how did it go with Willow?" You know? Wouldn't
Yeah.
wouldn't that come up probably if they talked?
Yeah, I think like yeah, so somehow, yeah, we've got to have things revealed somehow before Willow.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, she's so under his manipulative spell still that
Mhm,
her
mhm.
own brain could keep spinning these things.
I think so
Um,
because she does feel like she's kinda lost everything at this point, so she's gotta cling to something, and it would be easiest, I think, if he could somehow, convince her that this was,
yeah.
none of his doing, although I still don't know how she would unsee the video of the body shot
Right,
and
right.
stuff
The
like
body
that,
shot.
you
Oh my
know?
God. Yeah. And another aspect of this is it's going to be Portia's undoing with
Oh,
Curtis
I know,
because
I was thinking of that too when Portia's like, if she's going back over her actions of the past 6 months or whatever, the things she's done, like to supply ketamine to a whore. It's like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's not great, not a great look for a doctor, really.
This is the Portia that I can embrace as a
Yeah,
character.
I
Like
know,
I'm like
we can get behind
I'm
this one.
down for this Portia. This is good, like good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, this is a desperate woman who's making bad choices, but, yeah, it makes her a lot more interesting
A
as a
lot more
character.
interesting, yeah, rather than just the babe and the yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the best looking doctor I've ever seen in my life though.
She is?
I think so.
Huh,
Do you,
okay.
unless you know some hot doctors.
Like hot TV doctors?
Oh no, I'm in real life.
Oh, hot doctors in real life. No,
Yeah,
I'd have
I
to
don't
think
think I
about
know
that one.
any. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
maybe on TV too, do what other hot doctors? I mean, we have so many doctor shows, that's hard
Yeah,
to
we do. I mean, if we just go back to our favorite
or
ER,
ER,
there were some
yeah,
handsome
some
doctors, and
yeah,
The
yeah.
Pit did turn out to be a really good show, if you ever have a chance to watch that. That
Was
was
it, like, all, like, a one-day thing? Was it one of those things?
Yeah,
I feel like I read
yeah,
something.
it
Yeah, yeah.
was, yeah, he didn't I don't think he really felt like that was you weren't conscious of that unless you really sort of reminded yourself, "Oh, yeah, this is supposed to be the same day," but because it felt like a whole lifetime was packed into each episode,
Had
really.
you had a lot of ketamine when you were watching it, or
I'm usually kind of high, yes.
yeah, you were
I
like,
am right
"Ketamine
now.
or kettle corn? Ketamine or kettle." But yeah, Portia is, she is, spiraling, you'd have to say.
Yes, she is spiraling, that's true. Yeah, she was one of these characters, I think, like Nina, that we kinda thought it would be really interesting to see if they slowly unraveled, you know?
Yeah, and
And
it
I
isn't
don't
it weird that
know.
watching her unravel makes her so much more likable?
Yeah, it's true, it's true. That is
Like, ma is it
interesting.
adding humanity or something? I don't know what.
Maybe, yeah, it's she seems less just like a doll, you know, because all she was doing
Yeah,
before was, like, sorta giggling, you know, and
yeah.
squealing and stuff, and I don't know, there wasn't that much going on underneath, it didn't seem like.
Oh,
Although
excuse me.
she really did look hot in that red dress,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I mean,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
wowza,
yeah.
wowza.
Mhm.
But I think we're getting set up to see Curtis and, Jordan possibly rekindle something.
Yeah, because he's gonna be he's gonna be beyond disappointed if he finds out what, Portia was involved in.
And it
Uh,
all was so unnecessary because he already knew that she had falsified a record. So
yeah.
all that she was hiding
Mhm,
from him was that Brad was
mhm,
blackmailing her, and I don't
mhm.
understand why that
Yeah.
was
No, that doesn't make any sense either, yeah. And,
right, or have
do
I
you
forgotten something? Have I
No,
missed something?
I don't think so, I think we tried to figure this out before, and then we came to the same place, like,
I know the
it
2 of us, we both tried to figure
which is really the same as just, like, one person trying to figure it
it
out.
sometimes, yeah.
Badly. Do you think she's gonna try to make a frantic call to Brad in the lab and say, "Drew's coming in. You gotta"
Oh, yeah, that would be good because, I mean, that's kinda Brad's specialty,
he
that's
yeah,
his
that's his
jam.
wheelhouse, yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, "I missed this."
yeah, I so missed this.
But then he's gonna be in so deep if he does that for her. Then I think, I think you have to consider that he probably could start blackmailing her again, right? I
Yeah,
mean
right, yeah, but it's just, like, light blackmail, he's just trying to get, like, better schedules and,
Yeah.
you know, it's not
Yeah.
any big whoop, it's not.
No, that's true. Yeah, but, yeah, maybe this'll help forge that bond that we wanna see between Brad
Yeah,
and Portia a
teaming
little
up,
bit
yep,
more,
yep.
Um, but
Anyway,
yeah,
all good stuff there, the
yeah,
whole, takedown of Drew that's backfiring already.
yeah, they're gonna
Um,
have a lot of ways to mine that, I think, so that's good
yeah, yeah, it's
good work.
interesting, it's got a lot of ripples going on.
Lot of ripples, yeah, and speaking of ripples a little bit, um, going back to California where Sunny is recovering.
Yep, okay.
Um, we still I don't know, we don't know who that woman was that Brick killed, and I don't know if the fact that Brennan swooped in and got his team to clean up everything, if that proves that it was one of his people, don't you
Well,
think? Probably?
didn't he say to Jason or somebody that he did know who it was or something like that?
Well, he's kinda said yeah, but he didn't not that
He didn't
he
tell us.
well, right. He didn't tell us because he doesn't know us.
I mean, us, the collective viewer.
No, but I think when he said he knew who she was to Jason. I think he sort of meant out in like the hit person community, not that it was one of the WSB people that he
Hit
worked with.
person community. They're like, there's a meetup Saturday. We're doing pickleball.
I think that's how pickleball got its start, with hit people.
Pickleball, and then later for those with the strong stomachs, we're going to do body shots at the Savoy. You got to be in
So
good shape.
polish your Skechers and come out and
Polish
have
your
some fun with
Skechers.
us. We've just created this whole weird little world of people, sinister yet
Yeah,
playful and kind of
playful and yeah,
childlike people.
that wear Skechers and accomplish hits on those that need it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then sort of cool off with a body shot.
Cool down with a body shot. That's a good T-shirt. Body shots by Drew.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where were we? So yeah, I'm thinking that woman, if it wasn't whatever her name is, the
Well, did we
French,
decide on Claudette? Claudette?
we did we decide on Claudette
I don't
or
know. I think you said it. Sounds
Cowlneck?
right.
That sounds like Cowlneck.
Cowl neck? What did you say?
Claudette sounds like Cowlneck.
Cowl
Uh,
neck? All right.
mhm. But anyway, so I'm thinking that it is somebody associated with Brennan, that he ordered the hit or was involved somehow in the hit, and that's why his people
Well,
swooped
I thought
in
we
and
thought if it was Claudette that once
that she
again
might
she
have
was
been
like gone
rogue.
rogue. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that she would have done something like that by herself. And I think it was Brennan, right, that planted the bomb in Sonny's penthouse.
We thought it was Sidwell.
Well, I thought it was Brennan, because he was at the penthouse with Carly that one time, right? And he was left
Uh,
alone for a minute or something, and it
I don't
happened.
know. I guess I don't know. I thought we saw Sidwell like looking out the window at it happening
Yeah,
and
we yeah, well, and
doing
I
an
think
evil laugh or
yeah,
something,
I
you know.
think they're trying to make us think that it's him or that it could be him, but
And
I
I'm just
kind of
gullible, so I
well, I
believe
don't
them.
know. I don't know. I'm starting to think that it could be Brennan.
I think that they don't even know. They just
Yeah,
decide it
yeah,
later,
yeah. I think you're probably right. Yeah,
and they
right.
retrofit, based
Yeah,
on whatever
exactly.
whim
Mhm.
they have that day.
Yeah, or whichever of these characters has other stuff going on that people seem to be responding to, then they, decide, "Oh, okay, we won't fuck with him right now. He's
Yeah,
doing,"
maybe that. Yeah,
because Sidwell was a teeny bit more sympathetic when he was hanging out with Lucy, wasn't he? And talking about his son. Do you remember that?
yeah, yeah. But I'm just so sick of his rumbly voice and
I
his.
know. I think what made me like that conversation mostly was Lucy. I liked Lucy in that conversation because she was kind of a bit more real and less just sort of, like her
Right,
kind of
that like, yeah,
giggly,
that one-dimensional Lucy that we
Yeah,
mostly
yeah,
see.
like, I
Yeah.
like that when she said, "It must be, so wonderful to be in the same town with him." She sounded very sincere, like, when she was
Yeah, yeah.
saying
I
that
know
sort of
that
stuff.
it's just, they kind of waste that actor because there's a
Yeah,
lot he could do.
that's true. I think you're right, yeah, she's capable of being, like, a regular, like, down to earth sort of person, you know?
Yeah, and they just kind of use her as sort of a like a Lucy like comic relief sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
uh-huh, to make other
just
people uncomfortable and stuff,
yeah, yeah, just sort of
Mhm.
I don't know, and we'll get to see it all for the nurses' ball on full
Yeah,
display.
right, right. Yeah, which I kind of feel like we've seen that enough, that sort of version of events, you know?
Yeah, but they like to get their theater yayas out. So,
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's true.
what else? So during that time, we had Marco and Lucas on their little date,
Mhm.
getting
Mhm.
interrupted by that.
Mhm. Yeah.
It seems like everybody's sort of forgiven Marco for not telling who his father was
They seem to have gotten past that, yeah. I'd say that's true.
pretty quickly.
Mhm. Mhm. Lucas
Nothing,
definitely doesn't seem to be holding anything against him.
yeah, and nothing big happened at that date worth talking about or anything. But they were headed to the Savoy for body shots too, right?
Mhm. Yep, they were there. They witnessed everything, yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, and they saw Joss there. It was a little weird to see. What's his name, tell her that the handsome professor was at the Savoy? Is that why she went there? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I can't remember. And
I
why was
guess
Lulu there with Cody? Like that was weird too. I was like, why are they?
yeah. Was that supposed to be part of her adoption story that she was working on with Cody? Because it
Oh,
seems like
maybe that was, yeah,
is there
maybe
anybody on the show that wasn't
wasn't
adopted?
adopted, right? Yeah. And so that kind of brings us to what has been like just one of my favorite scenes for a while from
Yeah.
today
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
was Lulu and her mother, Laura,
Mm. Oh, you
where,
liked that scene, okay. Mhm.
yeah, because Laura basically just
Mhm.
said, keep your freaking beak
Yeah,
out of it,
yeah,
Lulu. Like,
yeah. Mhm.
don't indulge like whatever this
Mhm.
is, this,
Mhm.
need to play God. And she just
Mhm.
really laid it on the line, and she did it, of course, with some like,
Yeah.
you're my daughter and I
Compassion.
love you. But yeah,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
was like, wow, like, thank you, somebody, for saying all that to her.
Yeah, I know, I really liked that part of it too. I just, like, I don't know if I bought how overwrought Lulu was about all of this, you know? And I know we're supposed to believe that she's just, like, this is all in response to the father being Dante, and she's in agony because he's missing out on all this time with his son. I wanna believe that that's true, but I don't really feel that from Lulu, you know?
I think what Tracy said when she was trying to get at why Brooklyn is so bothered
Yeah,
by Lulu,
yeah, uh-huh.
um, I think that made some sense,
Yeah. Mhm.
just implying that, like, L- Lulu looks at your life and
Mhm.
basically, like, she's jealous, like,
Mhm.
she's she lost 4 years, and
Mhm.
and I think Lulu just can't admit to herself that it's about sticking it to Brooklyn.
Right,
She
right. Yeah. That's
kind of
right.
got herself thinking that she would be doing some service to the world by telling,
Mhm.
and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mhm.
and everybody she's talked to has reinforced this idea that, oh, their life was so enriched by finding out who
Mhm.
their parents were.
Right, right,
Um,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, she's sort of trying
is
to
that
build the
realistic?
case.
Is that even realistic? Like,
Yeah, I don't
I bet
know.
there are a lot of people that find out that their parents, were scumbags that lived in a
Mhm.
gutter, that probably
Mhm.
maybe didn't feel terribly enriched by that knowledge.
Yeah. Mhm. Right. There's plenty of reasons I think kids are given up for adoption. I mean, I guess the fact that this was a baby, changes things
Yeah, I
a
mean,
bit, but I don't know.
and there could be people that, like, maybe they'd have like kind of a lukewarm experience finding
Mhm.
a birth parent. Like, it wasn't good or
Mhm.
bad, it was just knowledge.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a
Mhm.
weird. I haven't had much experience with adoption. I have an adopted sister-in-law,
Yeah, you
um,
do. Mhm.
but that's a different. She was so my husband's sister was adopted. Actually, it was just the 50th anniversary of
Mm.
Vietnam,
Mhm.
and so I was like, you should call your sister, because that's it. So she was adopted from Vietnam, right when, like,
Mhm.
75, when Saigon fell,
Mhm.
and so that's a whole different situation. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
and obviously she knew she was adopted,
Right, right. Mhm.
and she has in latter years tried to find out more about her birth parents situation and everything.
Mm. Mhm.
And whether or not her life would be enriched by finding stuff out, I don't know. I don't, or meeting. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but doesn't she have fetal
Hmm.
alcohol syndrome?
My
Or is that
sister-in-law?
yeah, yeah, or is that just
Well,
my
she
my
definitely,
yeah.
well, possibly,
Mhm,
possibly. I mean, hard to know. She definitely
mhm,
was affected by malnutrition,
mhm,
um, and was in pretty rough shape when they
mhm,
adopted her. She was about 7, they think,
mhm,
when she
mhm.
came over.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, there were lots of things that caused some impairments with her.
uh-huh. Hmm,
Yeah. Um, but don't really know. I don't know if she'd ever be able to track her birth parents
mhm.
down. There's
Yeah,
so much to
right.
get
Hmm,
through, and I don't know how much she really even understands about. And I heard on the news the other day that Vietnam calls it the American War. I was like, huh, that
interesting.
makes sense. I guess that
Yeah, it
makes
does.
sense. But,
Yeah. Huh. Wow.
but
Yeah.
anyway, I kind of wish Lulu had found somebody that had said, I kind of like that caused me a lot of turmoil I
Mhm,
wasted a few years of my life pining away for some birth parent that really didn't turn out to
mhm,
enrich
mhm.
my, you know.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, I think whichever way people decide, to go, either like to research it and try to find their parents or not, there's always going to be baggage or regrets either way.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't imagine the agony of making that decision to give up a baby.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and so obviously there's going to be what Laura said something about when they were
Yeah.
talking about Nicholas
Mhm.
and Lulu said there were not extenuating circumstances, but what
Mhm.
was the phrase she used? There were
Mm. Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember, but and Laura said, of course, there always are.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, that's gotta be
Mhm.
so true. If you're at a point in your
Mhm.
life where you're having to consider
Mhm. Mhm.
giving up a baby for adoption, of course,
Mhm.
there are gonna be so many things weighing on you,
Mhm.
and,
Mhm.
um, so I have total sympathy with anybody in that situation, but
Mhm.
my ultimate thing with Lulu is it's not her
Yeah.
it's not her secret to tell. It's just
It's
not.
it really isn't, and I think also, it's pretty clear and convincing that Brooklyn didn't take that decision lightly, right? That it is
Right,
kind of it's
right.
been haunting her, so I don't know, if she was more cavalier about it, I could see Lulu maybe feeling like, well, if she's doesn't even care, but obviously she does care, and it's breaking her heart to think about this baby.
Well, and her motivation, Brooke Lynn's, whether
Mhm.
you agree with it or not, I think she really feels like she doesn't want to mess up this young adult's
Mhm.
life.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's
Mhm,
like saying, I know I don't want to be selfish and just satisfy my
mhm,
own curiosity
mhm.
and
Right.
upend this young person's life, which it would,
Mhm. Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Mhm.
So
Right.
I don't know. So I think letting if a child wants to find their birth parents, like
Mhm.
let it come from them. I don't know. I kind of think Brooklyn is doing the right thing and trying to be unselfish.
Yeah, I think so too. She told Tracy some of her secret when she was, like, sort of
Yeah, at the end of today's
breaking
episode.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All she told her, right, was that she had a baby and gave the baby up. She didn't tell her that Dante was the father. I don't know if Tracy
Right.
could figure that out probably if she wanted to. Or if
Yeah.
Brooklyn, now that she's told her this much, would she tell her the rest of it? I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of hope so.
Yeah, I
Um,
do too.
I really like the relationship between Tracy and Brooklyn.
I do
Um,
too. I do too. Because it seems like Tracy, like, same with Lulu. She truly sincerely enjoys, I think, their young energy and respects
yeah, yeah.
them. So, I think that's a good dynamic. It's good to
And
have.
it's interesting that she has a relationship with both of them and then their
Mhm.
jealousy with each other.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
that intensifies it, the fact that her grandmother like, that's
Yeah,
another little
right.
aspect of this whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
think that's what kinda drove Brooklyn to spill those beans, right? That
yeah.
that Tracy was sorta sticking up for Lulu, and she just couldn't take it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I know, she's starting to drive me nuts too. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know, Lulu, and
yeah.
why is Dante suddenly just always at her new house?
I
Like,
know, I don't want him to just become her, like, her slave,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and he walked in the other day, one episode, without knocking or anything, and I thought,
Mm,
"Is that where they are already?" Like, they're just
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know, felt a little weird, like,
mhm, yeah,
I don't know, it didn't seem like he should be doing that already.
right, right,
Oh, and
I
then
ki
now we've got the teenage boys headed for trouble. Oh,
oh, trouble, 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 yeah, right,
we got a kegger.
oh, I know, and Danny's being the bad influence.
Yep, of course,
Mm.
yeah. I hope
So,
there's no
yeah.
ketamine at that party.
Oh, jeez, jeez, yeah, that's a good point. There could be something, some sort of drug at the party. Um, how do you feel about what Joss is planning for
I
Emma?
hate it. I
I
hate
do
it. It's like,
too. Yeah,
uh,
I know. I don't know.
but she's hardcore. She's like,
She's hardcore, but it's kinda feels like I mean, it's nothing like Drew, but it's like, so is this her real personality if she's capable of sort of betraying someone who
well,
she's,
she's
you
kind of
know
a border collie, she's got a job.
she just needs to follow her job,
She's
her
focused. She's
orders.
like laser focused on her job,
She
and
really is, she really is, yeah. Huh.
I mean, we knew this about her. She's always had a super competitive streak and
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so she's trying to win at this job.
Right, I know they've kinda set it up for her that, like so that's how she'll look at it, right? Like, if
Yeah,
she
but it's
doesn't
gonna be
pull it off, she'll be a
heartbreaking.
loser, yeah. It
It's
is gonna
gonna
be
be
heartbreaking, and we don't even
it
she doesn't even really know if she's truly on the right side of the law here, you know?
right, yeah. But this is why we're, watching this soap opera. They're setting
It
something good
is?
up. Yeah, we're not just there to have tea and crumpets, and have everybody get along. I did think it
Oh,
was super lame that, like, oh, they're both there for Trina,
yeah.
and then it was like,
And then
"Trina, you
they
good?"
left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I know, I didn't get that either. It's like, "Wait a minute,
yeah.
this is the part where it's getting real for Trina."
Right, when you're waiting for him to come out of surgery, it was like, "W why did
Yeah,
you come?" It was
and
weird.
now she's like a sitting duck for the contest-winning documentary guy, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I thought
But
they were unnecessarily, like, bitchy and catty with him.
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought they could have
right,
just said, "This isn't an appropriate time," so
mhm,
no.
yeah, right, right, yeah, they give girls a bad name.
Right, yeah, I didn't like that sorta, like, girly thing they did. It was
Mhm, yeah,
yeah.
it was sweet that Laura showed up though, wasn't it? Did it take you a
Yes,
minute to figure
yeah.
out their connection?
Yes, yes. I was so, like, upset with myself.
I
"Do they" first
know.
I was like, "Wait a minute, do they know each other?" And then I was like, "Oh, of course they know each other."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I wish
Hey,
I
what's
had
happened to Ace? Where's Ace?
oh god, I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of adoption, right? Because Laura and Kevin adopted Ace, right?
Yeah, I mean, we know Kevin's beyond the gates,
Yeah.
but,
That
where
seems
is
like a
Ace?
euphemism. Sounds like he
Yeah,
died. Yeah, where is Ace? I know because Laura's all over the place now. When
he's gonna be
nary a mention.
drinking a beer at that party.
Yeah,
He's gonna
probably.
be sore-assed into that party, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Huh. But, yeah, that was a lovely moment, lovely for her to show up. I mean, Laura's she really is, everybody's mom in Port
Yeah,
Charles.
and she's been kind of, like, acting her butt off lately, I feel
She
like.
has, she really has, yeah.
Her expressiveness with everybody is like,
Mhm.
her sort of, glee about Drew, was
Yeah.
very funny to watch. But then she
Yeah.
was like very pro about, no, we
Mhm.
don't, I can't,
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
been, um, like all over the media for having a relationship with somebody
Mhm.
inappropriate, and I'm not going to do
Mhm.
that to somebody else. It was like, wow,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. She's a pro, all right. Yeah.
she's good. Now, what
Mhm.
else happened? Do we have anybody else to talk
Well
about?
we didn't, going back to Sonny, for a little bit, when he told Jason that they needed to get out of the business, I thought that was kind of a bold statement, like, just sorta out of the blue. I mean, not really out of
Well,
the blue, but,
because of the dream, but
Right, right, yeah. I thought he might, like, sorta sit with it for a little longer,
yeah.
but
Do you think he could? And would that mean that then he doesn't have to be like kicked out of Port Charles or something? If he's just like he goes and gets his pair of Skechers and just
and just
starts playing pickleball.
pickleball, yeah. I don't know if I'd recommend pickleball for Sonny, for a while at least. But, I don't know. I mean, they've always made it sound like that would be a death sentence to get out because they know too much, right? But
Right, yeah, like, how would you do that? Do
I
people
yeah,
do
I don't
that?
know. I don't know. Maybe they could I mean, I guess it depends on, like, whoever's left of these other families and if they would be what they would get
Selena
out of it,
Wu, would Selena Wu
Yeah.
fill the
Selena would
vacuum or something?
slide right in there, yeah. And if they thought they were gonna get, the better part of the deal, then maybe they would leave him alone, I don't know.
Mm,
But,
yeah.
it's interesting to think about,
I
would
mean,
and
they
would
do have the coffee biz. Could they just, like, make
Yeah,
that
be
legit?
legit, yeah, and if he did get out of the business, would there still need to be a hit on him from whomever is gunning for him?
I don't know. I mean, it's soap opera land, so, like,
On
w
once you start something, you gotta finish it.
yeah, well, no, I was just thinking, like, it may be unrealistic in real life to think about getting out of the mob, but maybe
Mhm.
in soap opera land, we can make that, work.
Yeah, yeah, he could go back to Nixon Falls and just start up the Tano again. That's the real
Yeah.
dream, I think, isn't it,
Start
everybody?
having monthly hoedowns. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe get back together with Nina, we don't know. She liked Nixon Falls.
Yeah,
She liked when he was Mike, right?
yeah, she loved Mike, yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of a sweet little dream, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I
I don't
am
know what
glad that
Jason
they
would do.
separated him from Natalia,
Yeah,
like,
pretty
'cause that they were
decisively.
yeah, they were toying with that for so long, and
Mhm.
I feel like they're gonna have her be kind of a bad guy now,
Yeah,
or vengeful at least.
Mhm.
Maybe
Right,
maybe
right.
she'll get back with Sidwell, and they'll be a
Right, maybe they'll be the new
evil duo or something.
Mhm, right. Ugh, I don't know, I don't like to think about that really.
I don't like that.
I don't like it. I don't like Oh, boy, but,
Well, anyway, we had
yeah.
a lot of stuff happen. I was LOLing quite a lot for
Yeah.
the body shot scene. I bet everybody was.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was
that was truly glorious, I thought.
yeah,
Truly.
that deserves, like, a special daytime Emmy. I don't know, there's not a
Yeah, I don't know
category for
what.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, oh man. Yeah. I mean, I guess people like that are shy or whatever, they the whole like cliche of, putting a lampshade on your head and dancing on a
Mhm.
table
Mhm.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
um I'm just going back to the concept of, are you truly you when you're
Mhm. Yeah.
wasted on something, or is it just some
Mhm.
alternate personality that comes out
Mhm.
that
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Or is it like maybe like you feel like when you've got a mask on, you can behave like a different person, you know? Maybe it's not like unveiling who you are, but putting a veil
but
on,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
But does that mean that, like, ultimately you wanna do kinda skeevy things as long as nobody knows it's you because 'cause
Maybe.
you're
Yeah,
wearing a
maybe
mask?
it's the same thing, isn't it? This is pretty heavy shit we're getting into in our
Yeah, like, how does he
53rd minute.
know how to
Yeah.
to do a body shot? you know?
He seemed like a natural at it, didn't
He
he?
did. He seemed practiced, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty slick.
Yeah, you hold the body still so as
He
not
should
to
just say, "Now,
disrupt the
Willow, if you're
pool.
jealous, we can do body shots
We
tonight
could
at
do it right
home."
here, right now. Nina, could you clear off the table? I gotta slurp some liquid off your daughter.
Well, my prediction is that this will force the whole Nina slept with Drew thing out into the
Yeah,
open. Like, he's gonna feel
yeah.
like, "Okay, this didn't work. I'm gonna have to go for my big
Yeah,
ammo."
yeah, right, right.
And you may be right that that's not gonna do what she thinks it's gonna do, but I feel like that's what
Right.
she's been hiding all this time,
Yeah,
and,
yeah, mhm. Well, and thinking that it would damage her relationship with Willow, and it might, it
well, if
might.
she feels like once the whole thing, the ketamine thing is
Mhm,
revealed to be Nina's doing, she
mhm.
will have Willow that relationship with Willow will have been damaged,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
if they yeah, if
like
that's right, if they figure out that it was her, yeah, that's true.
yeah, like,
Right,
so she
mhm,
might be like, "Oh, fuck it,
mhm,
I'm just gonna tell her about, the fact that he
mhm.
was banging me while he was wanting to bang you," you know?
I hope somebody puts it that way.
Uses the banging
Yeah,
phrase.
yeah, that sounds like Willow and Nina, doesn't it?
It yeah, it really does, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, good times, though. I feel like we've had some good stuff the past
I
couple
guess
days.
it was pretty juicy, yeah, pretty juicy. Midweek,
Lots of
definitely.
drama. Midweek drama, yep,
Mhm.
yep. So thank
Yeah.
you, GH. It was
Yes, kudos.
an enjoyable couple days for sure.
It was, yeah, mhm.
I think that's all I got. You got anything else?
I think that's it, Gia, yeah.
All
Well
right.
done. Okay. Alright. We've stayed pretty much on topic, didn't we?
We kinda did, didn't we? That's bizarre.
I don't know what to chalk that
I
up
don't know if
to.
I liked it or not, but because
Yeah,
maybe because we had more entertaining episodes that kept
I
us on
guess,
on
yeah,
path.
more to hold our attention, that's right.
Meaty. We had some meaty episodes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's must be it.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Well, we'll keep watching and we'll talk again in a few days.
Yeah, okay, you have a good night, Gia.
Okay, you too. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody, thank you.
Yes, thank you.